So, just to let everybody know, I'm happy to be here. What was I going to say? Of course, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Help us get to 22,000 subscribers first, 25 after that, 30 after that, 100 after that. You guys know the deal of what I normally start off in a lot of my spiels. So, I want to let everybody get in here before I get to the topic of the video that we are going to be talking about today. Just wanted to make sure I got a video to you guys before I go inside. I got home a little while ago. So, just to let everybody know, in case anybody comes in, this is going to be a very John Cena centric. Shout out to Anthony Snyder for being the first one to come in. Anthony Snyder, AK907. Appreciate you being on, sir. Appreciate you being here with us. Again, like I said, it's going to be a very John Cena centric video. I'm not going to exactly say what. If anybody comes in a little bit early, usually I start getting a lot of people around like a couple minutes in, 2, 3, 4 minutes or so. So anybody who comes in a little bit early, if you have any thoughts, comments about what we're going to see in 6 days, which is John Cena's final match, definitely type your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear them, whether it's about his opponent, whether it's about who else's opponent could have been, what your thoughts on him retiring, the dates he's worked, any of that, because we're going to talk about a couple of different things that do have to do with John Cena. So hopefully everybody starts coming in about another minute, and I'll make sure that we get to these topics. While we're talking here, shout out to DJ Mars Bello. Appreciate you being part of the live stream. Appreciate you being on with us. If you didn't hear, sir, we're going to be talking about John Cena in just a little bit and some of what's going on surrounding that match and the man, the myth, the legend, in even though you can't see him. Like, I feel like the greatest way for John Cena's career to end and come full circle is for us to be able to finally see him. You know what I mean? I'm a big anime fan, Hero Academia, and we got to see what Hagakure looked like, so that's all I'm saying. It's kind of like that situation. You know what I mean? But there's now a couple people in here, so I'll get started with what we're talking about, which I said several times now is going to be John Cena. It has been decided who his final opponent is going to be, and to be honest, I've been campaigning for this for a little bit. I've been wanting. I talked about it in a couple of my videos. I wanted it to be there. I've wanted it since probably just a little bit before the semifinals. It's not going to be Cena versus Edge. We already know this now. So I am very happy that we do get to see a match with Gunther and John Cena's final match. And I think we're going to have a fun last match for John Cena. And the way the show is up, I can appreciate when we talk about John Cena and what he wants for the future of the business. Obviously, we're not getting Cena versus Braun either. He's got one match left. Um, but what we're going to see, at least from what John Cena said, is he's actually going to be kicking off his last, is the show that is happening during his last match. So he's going to kick that off, and then you're going to present superstars take on future superstars. Like Cody Rhodes is going to be taking on Obafemi. That's one example, and that's honestly a match that I am extremely excited for. I hope personally main events instead, because Cody Rhodes is the present and Femi is somebody I can see, being a huge part of WWE's future. I see him being rather heavy alongside Braun Breaker, and I'm sure they'll have stars where we'll be a little bit of a mix, but there's a lot of young guys where I'm very, very excited to see where they go with their, and I'm happy that John Cena is okay with his last event being presented this way, because other people are going to be able to see that as well. Because I do think looks about the young talent that WWE has enough because a lot of the top guys are older. Randy Orton, CM Punk, John Cena himself. There's a lot of top guys who are a little bit further up there in age. So again, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen at Saturday night's main event. And I'm very excited for John Cena's last match, and I'm very excited that it's against Gunther. I got everything I want. I know that's not the entire consensus. I know there were a lot of people pulling for LA Knight to win. I talked about this with the sweetest ooze from Wrestling with Honey and Women's Wrestling Talk about this a couple of days ago. If you haven't checked that out, go check out the most recent episode of Hot Tag Takes, which is available on my channel. Just make sure you look for it. What we were talking about essentially is why it should be LA Knight or why it should be Gunther. Does Gunther really need this after some of the accolades that he's gotten? Does LA Knight need this more? Here's the thing. Again, I've seen a lot of opinions on it, and one of the ones that I saw was LA Knight should not have lost by tap out because that's going to start his momentum. And after some of his promos, this kind of makes him look weak. And I can kind of see where that's coming from. I feel like we could have made LA Knight pass out to Gunther's hold. But, a lot of ways the match with Gunther and John Cena can go. Can you imagine if John Cena taps out in his last match, for one thing? Like, how that would kind of break John Cena down on the way out and how much would Gunther over? I think that would be honestly amazing for Gunther as a whole. So, hey there, fucker. Legend has it the Chop King is fighting Never Seen 17. That's what we're talking about right now, actually. And I'm happy to see the match. You seem happy that the match is coming as well. I mean, there could have been a lot of different matches that we could have gotten that I would have been happy with personally watching the tournament, but this was the me. So, yeet. I would have been happy with that too, honestly. It would have been kind of a full circle moment to their Royal Rumble face off. But such is life. I'm happier we got this. We can only get so many, and as John Cena said, they can't go up against everybody. Bro, finna make Cena go from a pale white to a bloody red. A lot like JBL did about 20 years ago. Hey, yo! But yeah, no, I think that would be good for John Cena on his way out as well. You know what I mean? But with that being said, there has been quite a few opinions shared on the amount of dates that John Cena was supposed to work. And he mentioned he wanted to do 220 dates. There are people I've seen that have been outraged on it. Unless Bryan Danielson returns. That's not happening. I think Bryan Danielson is done. I don't know if you caught it, but he was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast talking about how there is degenerative damage in his entire spine. And I'm sure he may do one offs, but I'm not even sure if I want that personally. I want the man to be healthy for obvious reasons. I want, anybody, in good health. I don't wish bad health on anybody. And I mean, dude's got a wife and a family. Like, I'm not wanting to see anybody out there getting hurt, especially a legend like Bryan Danielson. That's all I'm saying on that. But he wanted to do 220 dates. And a lot of people, again, are outraged by the fact that he only ended up doing 36. Am I saying that John Cena maybe could have done more dates? Maybe it would have made sense for John Cena to come on a couple of different episodes of Raw and SmackDown, a couple more anyway, to be able to fill in some gaps in his stories and in the times that he wasn't there. Yes. Do I think it should have been 220 dates? I don't. Personally, I think that John Cena has been a part timer for a while, and his schedule with WWE has gotten increasingly and increasingly less demanding, while his movies and TV shows and commercials have gotten more demanding. I don't think he should have jumped all the way back to 220 dates. So I am more okay with than I am 220 personally, but I would love to see John Cena in maybe 60 to 70 dates. I think that's something that is a bit more reasonable personally. I feel like that's something John Cena might have been able to manage. I do feel like a lot of gaps would have been filled because that's almost double the date. That John Cena was only here 36 times means he only had so much time on episodes of Raw, SmackDown, and pay per views and Saturday night's main events to be able to tell us stories. For example, the match with AJ Styles, the promotion for that match was done entirely on the back of AJ Styles. John Cena did no work for that match whatsoever, and they were able to make it work. They were able to make the build up work with John Cena and AJ Styles. They were able to get away with it, and they were able to make a match like that work because it was more of a love letter to pro wrestling, especially with all the different finishers that we saw from all of their different rivals. And because of that, they were able to make that work. And I'm glad we got to see that. But in no other situation would a build like that actually be able to work. And I'm glad WWE was able to take advantage of it. But at the same time, I feel like John Cena, especially in many of his other stories, could have used that time to be a part of the show, the roster, and whatever's being promoted. I feel like 60 to 70 dates, almost double what he did this year, would have been fine. I don't think he should have done 220. I think that's a lot. I think my number that I said might be a little bit more appropriate. Let me read some of these comments now. By the way, I am on my friend's WWE 2K Universe mode, and I'm guaranteed a title shot. The title will be anonymous. Uh, Honestly, bro, you should cross it out like your name says, like CM Punk was doing with the AEW title before he got fired. But I'm just saying personally. By the way, fifth leg for Norville Rogers. Is that your guys' name? Because that is the most awful name for a video game character that I have ever heard. I hope to God that it's not your character's name on there. I'm just saying. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the dates that John Cena said he was going to work compared to what he ended up getting, my opinions on it, and how I'm feeling about Gunther going in to face John Cena in his last match instead of LA Knight. You guys are more than free to share your thoughts as well. Shout out to Simo. I love you. Love you too, man, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the support that I get from all of you. It absolutely helps. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey that I've been on with YouTube. It really does mean a lot. But again, as I was saying before that comment, let me know your thoughts, opinions on some of the things I mentioned, the dates John Cena worked, the fact that Gunther's facing him in his last match. Let me know in the comments, especially as I am about to be posting this video. All right? Thank